And welcome back to another Wednesday night fly tying session here while we're all still in quarantine. Tonight's fly is a continuation of the story from last week. So last week we talked about George Mason, who was the inspiration for Trout Unlimited. We're next going to talk about a guy by the name of George Griffith. George Griffith was of all things, a stocking salesman, and he had a home on the Asabo. His job allowed him to be on the road just a couple times a year, go to department stores, display the various new products that came out each year, but he had lots of time to go back to his home on the Asabo, the barbless hook, and spend a lot of time fishing there. So he had a great job for someone who wants to spend a lot of time just on the water instead of on the road. And so when George Mason came up with the idea for Trout Unlimited, George Griffith, Art Newman, and a group of other men decided that they were going to meet at Griffith's house on the banks of the Asabo, and they founded what we now know today as Trout Unlimited. So we have a lot of thanks to give to guys like Griffith, like Newman, like Mason. George Griffith was known for a fly called the Griffiths Gnat, and you might be wondering, well, why are we tying that fly? It's just kind of basic and simple. But these Wednesday night tying sessions are really more about the people and the stories than the flies themselves. So the great thing about the Griffiths Gnat, it may be kind of intimidating because it's a small fly, but it's really an easy fly. If you can tie a woolly worm or a woolly bugger, you can tie a Griffiths Gnat. I'm going to tie it on a size 14 tonight so we can see it. But you can tie it down as small as a size 22. I've seen people use these as tricos. You can use them as midges. Just a fly that you have to have in your fly box. So let's take a look at this one. Okay, to tie this fly, you can use either black or olive thread. I'm using black here. This is a size 14 hook. I don't normally tie them this large, but I decided to tie this just a little bit larger so that it might be easier to see on camera. Now the fly only has a few parts. The hackle on this is grizzly, again size 14, and I'm going to put a wire rib on here. This is very fine gold wire. This will help reinforce the that peacock body I'm going to put on. And then, as I said, here is the peacock. Just putting a few strands on here. I don't really care about how neat it is because any imperfection on here will be covered up as I wrap it. It's about 4 strands. I'll get this little stray one off of here. Tie that off. And again, cut the tag off. I'll just palmer the hackle. And then finally the rib on here, you want to kind of wiggle it back and forth so you go between the hackle fibers instead of smashing them down. But this will make the fly a lot more durable. A few more wraps, whip finish. Actually a couple half hitches. thread and the wire, and I'll kind of clean this up a little bit on the back. And that is it, the Griffiths Gnat. So hope you have fun tying it. Hope to see you on the river again soon, but in the meantime, happy tying.